is the Ford. And there's my old step into the trailer. You can see the crack. The metal was exhausted. It's 34 years old and I'm a heavy guy. Sitting down in the shadow here. It's so freaking hot. Since the traveling days in my earlier films, I've been standing here in the Sami city of Jokkmokk. And it's too hot to do anything. It's hot all days, except for the thundering storms who come every other day maybe from the heat. Then we get some rain, a little bit colder, then the sun comes again. So I'm not traveling. I got no air conditioning in this old beauty, and I got 2 dogs. I can't drive with them in this heat. I don't know if you can see any of them. They're lying on the other side in the shadow with water buckets. They just sleep. All they can do in this heat. The instep behind the doorstep, it hanged in hooks, and when I climbed it the whole wagon was moving, and I didn't like that at all. So I took the Ford and drove down to a lumber yard in this heat, and they had this big tent like a field hospital or so in a tarp material, plastic, rubber, and it was twice as hot in that one. I had a manual saw to saw the lumber, but then I made that step. I thought I was doing a triple combination. If I turn it upside down and put it in the inside the caravan, I can put the water jugs in it when I'm driving, then they stand safe. And if I put it out like that, like a step, it's also like a sofa for me. I can sit there and drink coffee, and if I got a fire pit I can have it outside the tarp. And I put up my tarp, and it's what we call a sun sail. It's about 5 yards in all 3 ways, 5, 5, 5. I took this pole, and for now I just tied it to the car. I made a little pole to drive into the ground, but it's so much stone I couldn't put it down. I got to get a metal one and drive it down with a hammer, so I can go away and leave this. But that's good. Now I've got shadow over the door. So I got sun several hours a day on the door. That's not good. I got a window open on the other side and the door open so the air moves. And I got 2, what do you call them? Sunlights on the roof, which are open. Like the one there in the car. So the air is moving. One is in the toilet and one is in the hallway. Yes, yes. So that's my nomadic camp. I've stayed here now for almost 10 days, I think. It's good for my economy. If I don't drive all the time, I can stay out much longer. I've been out more than 2 weeks now. 2 weeks and 2 days, I think. And I love it. Just the hate. Just the hate for the heat. The heat, the hate. Sun. The sun is making me crazy. I just fill up this jug with water. Ice cold. Can you see it? Oh, I drank 3 glasses when I was inside and filled it up too. So I can make some coffee. So I can drink a whole lot of water. And my hair is a total mess now. Look at this. It's one big dreadlock of it all. A girl is going to help me to split it first into 2 and then into 4, and then take a needle and make it into dreadlocks. 4 big ones. That's the way to go. Well, no sightseeing, no fishing, no nothing in this heat. Just cooling down and a whole lot of lying down. And it's good because even if I live a slow, safe life at home, I'm always tensed in some way. And that tension relieves itself. I get kind of low, not depressed, but like low, and something is happening inside of me. You know, go away and relax, people used to say. And this is it. And I used to long for I started to long for my home, to my simple routines in my little apartment on the countryside. And that is good, because that has been so natural to me. Everybody lives like this. This is so blah blah blah. But that's a castle. My little apartment and my little life there. It's so great and so okay. Now when I live like a hobo, I can feel the difference. I can see the difference. That is good. Go away to appreciate what you got. I got less than 2 weeks to get my paycheck. That is good. By that time, the temperature will getting lower. It's starting to become Easter. No, not Easter. What do you call it? I'm so hot in my head. Fall. Fall time. Spring, summer, fall. It's called fall. Even if I go home in a week or so, now I'm totally into this traveling. Everything is in working condition now. So I can go weekends or weeks to fishing camps. I stay there with a wagon and do some serious fishing and so. I had plans to do a lot of fishing this trip, but no way, the fish won't bite in the heat. And standing there without shade is completely impossible too, if you're not an African or something. I'm a Laplander. This is not for me. Yeah. I just had to film something today because that was a promise to film this trip, but that's not so much happening. We got, if you see the wooden structure there, that is our fireplace combined with outside smithery. My friend is a master blacksmith, so we use that place to make knives and axes and art stuff and candeliers, and that's good. If it gets really much colder before I go, maybe he can work, but that's impossible now. If you have seen a blacksmith in work, the charcoal is so heat, so metal will become liquid. You can't do this in this heat. That's impossible. But you never know. It can turn quick here and go into fall. Bang. And then it's like in England, rainy and no sun for several weeks. That's good, because In the fall we have the big hunts for moose, bear, the big animals, and also the fishing in the ocean for herring. And they don't start to mate before the water is down to a certain degrees. That's nature, you can't fool it. So we need it to be cooler. Also in the big hunts you can't have the meat outside in this temperature, and it will go shamed, and that will be a catastrophe. Because we take several hundred thousands of moose. That's the biggest hunt in Sweden. It's in 2 periods in fall, the first one and the second one, and that fills up the refrigerators in all the country to become meat soup. Also the reindeer herders butcher in the fall, and they need it to be cold too. So many people, almost everybody I know, love the heat, and they're so happy now, and I hate it. I really hate it. If I get rich in some way, but more money, I will buy an AC. That's got to be one of the biggest inventions man ever made. Air condition. Yes. Well, I sweep it. The mighty Ford. With new front wheels, by the way. Front tires. The tarp and sun sail. The new step in. It was fabulous. I love it. The feeling every time I go in and out now, I love it. There I got a chair, propane, and that's the propane box. Yeah, here's a shed. I use the wall. There is a shadow for the water and me sitting on the dog's blanket. This is big bag. Ouch.